was a single parent. She was an orphan, and orphan of color, and she got hated and racialized and abused and tortured in foster homes and orphanages across this country. And back in Philly, actually, where Sandusky is raping children and walking on a $95,000 motherfucking bail while they're incarcerating brothers for less, right? But anyway, so she dealt with unbelievable level of torture and still managed to get her paper by any means necessary. By the time that after she got this one great job through, AFA welfare, she ended up not being able to keep working and became disabled. And at that point, I was 11 and I had to start working to help us survive. People only think about that in relation to the so-called third world, the global south. That shit happens here all the time. It's just that poor people aren't allowed to be seen in America KKK. Right? We're incarcerated. We got our shanties set up on the street. Me and Leroy went to Atlanta as long as I went with Vivian, and we met a brother there, and they were actually they wanted to put up a shanty, and there was so much bullshit between the liberals who say you shouldn't have a shanty because it makes it look like we okay with the shanty, and the progressives and then the police. His brother couldn't even set up his shanty. Like, it was like insane. He's like, I just want my shanty. But anyway, my mom, we were interdependent, not independent, because isolation kills. Okay? And the whole independent living movement is always a trip to me, right? Because, like you spoke on, this idea that success is our independence, right? Well, any other country in the world, our success is our interdependence, our connection to and with, not separated from. And I'm proud to say that after a lot of decolonizing and consciousness and incarceration, me and Mama got conscious, and that's how we were able to start Poor Magazine out of nothing. Ain't nothing but our own serious, like, we got to do this. And I was my mom's caregiver and collaborator until the day she transitioned. We lived together, interdependently, and my mom was OG and ghetto all the way, and not a very happy person, and that is what it is. But from the get, we included and had the blessing of having Leroy involved in all scholarship, all the disability scholarship that all of us poverty scholars brought. Because, like you said, that has to be enmeshed in any of our revolutions, right? Like he's speaking on. But anyway, on the humor tip, I live with a disability, and I don't show it at all. I was born severely pigeon-toed, so I'm like this, and I can't. And now it's to the point where I had a back injury, and an acupressurist saw me, and she was hardcore, like little revolutionary from China. She was really, she would put people on racks and make them sweat. It was really frightening. But anyway, it got me over my thing, and then she looked at my feet, and she said, I can't help you. Like, that's how bad they are. But anyway, my mama, being the ghetto scholar that she is, tried to get me on SSI. She's like, we got to get that hustle. Right? We got to do that. But we didn't have no knowledge about it. You didn't even know this. This is like something I didn't tell you. Like you inspired me to bring this up because Mama's in the room. Hey, Mama. That's right. So she sends me into the disability office, right? Which is never where you go when you want disability, right? No, you don't walk into the office, right? But oh, yes, I did. I walked into the office and filled out the application, right, with 575 questions. And I figured, if I want disability, this is my goofy, just turning 18-year-old mind, I'll say yes to every question, right? So at the end of it, of course, I had bipolar, and I was physically disabled, and have you heard voices? Yes. Have you seen people and you're not? Yes. Right. Do you want to kill people when you walk out of here? Yes. Right. Suffice it to say, I barely made it to the evaluation appointment. I'm sure they were like this, with this, oh, we got it right. So anyway, suffice it to say, thanks to Leroy, he gave me another chance. I still don't talk about it, but yeah, I live with a disability. So I'm gonna sing a song for y'all. We do a lot of work on Poor Magazine. But one of them is the Welfare Queens project with my sister Viv is here, and I hope we can finish with our duo. But I did this piece just recently, so I'm gonna do it for here. It's a remix of a famous old song because we all know we ain't living in anything less than a depression right now, if there is such a thing in capital They used to sell me on the American dream, so I followed the mob. Where there were houses to clean and shoes to shine, I was right there on the job. They used to sell me on the American dream. Work hard and you'll get ahead. So why should I be standing here in jail, incarcerated for not having a roof over my head? Once I worked at Walmart in the checkout line, made it race against time. Once I worked at Walmart, now it's done. Sister, can you spare a crumb? Once I got the food stamps, now they're gone. Budget cuts all the time. Once I got the food stamps, now they're gone. Sister, can you spare a crumb? 500,000 women locked in this hell. Gee, we look swell. Women, babies, kids and their moms. We ever get out? Say, don't you remember? You called me Nell. It was Nell all of the time. Say, don't you remember? I'm your pal. Sister, can you spare a crumb? Because being poor ain't no crime. So that's just one. Thank you. That's a remix. Some of you may know of a song called Brother, Can You Spare a Dime?
Yeah.
So this is, we talked about the Occupy movement.
Sure.
And let's just say at Four Magazine we did a little decolonizing of the Occupy movement. And there's a book that we put out because of our increasing frustration, let's just say, about using the empire's words. We are on occupied indigenous land, people. Thank you. And as a Taino person, we aren't even supposed to be alive, Caribbean Indians. But this is a piece I wrote in honor of that. I am the 000.25, the smallest number you can think of in your mind. I didn't even make it to the 99. Love to all your awakening consciousness, but try to walk in mine. I am the peoples on the corner, the mamas, daddies, and the babies in the car, the day laborers in jaws of systems living in SROs, shelters, jail cells, houses made of cardboard. The people you don't see, can't see, or never want to be. I am a mental health diagnosis and your favorite academic research proposal. I walk through addiction, racism, and poverty, scared of CPS, the INS, the police, and me. I am occupied with broken teeth, broken promises, a broken heart, bench warrants, deportation threats, and my own thoughts. My land, baby, body, and mind has long ago been lost to case manglers, poverty pimps, philanthropimps, and the never-ending war on the poor. Never even got a credit card, much less a mortgage. But I did catch a case, a marshal, and a jail term for stealing food from the store. I am the 000.25 and the smallest number you can think of in your mind. I didn't even make it to the 99. Ow! I'm just going to close and ask my sister Viv of the Welfare Queens, that small W capital Q, people, to come up and join me in a piece I wrote in honor of all the mothers. Are there any mothers in the room? Any mamas or any daughters? Okay, we got one mama, thank you. Because without all of us mamas, there could be no us, okay? And caregivers and people.
Baby just came.
That's right. Okay. She's like, what's going on? This poem is called This Poem is in Honor of Mothers. This poem is in honor of homeless mothers and poor mothers, welfare mothers, and three-job working mothers, migrante mothers, and incarcerated mothers. In other words, this poem is in honor of IN Estwith, CP Estwith, and most of all, System Estwith mothers. This poem is in honor of all those poor women and men, and yes, I said men, because don't sing me that song about gender again, who fight and struggle and steal and beg in every crevice and corner to keep our kids in a bed, who dress and feed with tired hands, who answer cries over and over again. This poem is in honor of all us poor mamas who deserve to be coddled and loved and fed and respected, instead of criminalized, marginalized, and rarely respected. who can barely make it, but sometimes do, and still raise all the world's people, like me and you and you. Can I get a witness?
Yeah, that's right.
Who can barely make it, but sometimes do, and still raise all the world's people, like me and you and you. Ashe. Thank you, everybody.
One more time, give it outstanding. And I thank you for saying that we are on occupied land.
Thank you. Yes, you know.
And let's be clear. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure TP didn't come with Brother King. I understand. I got you. But here's the reality of that statement. In 2008, when Hillary and Barack were running, I had this crazy notion about running for the United States Senate.
Yes,
I like that notion.
I actually tried to run.
Okay.
Actually, I got a little far. We made some headlines, we did little things. But the reason it's interesting is because to be sold the American dream, they actually go out of their way not to sell it to people with disabilities. They actually go out of it like, I was like, I want a house, well, Negro. Like, I want to graduate. Well, no, because you got IEP. You can stay here till you're 22. I want to be rich. Well, see, you can only have $5,000 in assets. All you have to do is spend them. If you're going to talk about revolution, the thoughts have to be revolutionary. They can't be a revolving door. The same regurgitated bullshit that we done heard for the last 40 years. The analogy is to young black people after the civil rights movement had lost momentum. There has been no grooming of the next generation of leaders, unless you are Jesse Jackson Jr., Martin Luther King Jr., or any of those people who are directly connected that they gave it directly to their children because they had no other choice by osmosis. They were going to get it. Look at the leaders now. Name a prominent African American leader that is under 60.
You guys. There you go.
Other than us, dude. My wheel is in the back of my wheelchair because they take us out the game real early. Like, he's a leader, shoot him.
Exactly.
But the reality is what you spoke about, and again, what all the artists have shared, is there's a different take on reality than what's being told to us. Because to talk about indigenous people, I'll tell you that in 2008, like I started before, we actually had a meeting where Howard Dean came to Boston. Met with all the minority progressives in the city of Boston. Woohoo! All the Negroes and the Latinos and everybody else who was darker than the sheet of paper, come on down. Because you are our base. And they were talking about, and I'll never forget, because Howard Dean said, we are a land of immigrants. I take issue with that. And then he said, we're a land of immigrants, whether you chose to come here,
No, he didn't.
or you were brought here.
What? What?
Let's take a second to just revisit that.
Whoa!
I don't remember everybody standing on the Gold Coast or the Ivory Coast saying, "Oh, shack on me."
Oh.
Put me in the bottom of a hot, funky boat for 3 months. Bring me up to the top once a month. It's so actually we're so excited that you came. 2/3 of us are going to jump off the boat before we get to dry land. Because it's just as fucking sexy to us. So if they're selling that now, if they're selling it then, what are they doing now? 2/3 of Latino and Black juvenile justice incarcerated have undiagnosed disabilities. 2/3. The largest issue with the incarcerated population is the lack of disability and mental health services. There is a reason for this. Because again, as you said so eloquently, it's a hospital. Look, I'm the biggest disability pimp on the planet. You don't get it twisted. I'll be in a wheelchair right now. Don't get it twisted. You need low rent? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Why? Because I can't do nothing.
That's right. Thank you.
Look around.
Thank you.
Now, if I'm lying, am I lying?